Welcome back to the channel. Yeah, as you guys can tell by this title, Mercedes is going to be taking on Tesla, and apparently the Mercedes EQS will have better range than Tesla, and apparently they're gunning for Tesla. We're gonna talk a little bit about this. I love this, and every time I see one of these, it makes me smile. So let's get the intro started and we'll talk about it. Okay, well, obviously it's all over. Mercedes now is going to take the EQS and bam, they're gonna have more range than Tesla. They're gonna be better. That's it for Tesla. Obviously, the EQC is well, just gonna wipe the floor with Tesla. That's just the way it is, and we have to accept it. Of course, there is a slight problem with this, and the only problem I can foresee right now is that the EQC is not on the market yet. In fact, the EQS, sorry, it's not going to be on the market yet. It's not. It's actually a concept car. It really is nothing more than that. At this point, it's one of those things that I keep seeing everywhere. Be it Mercedes or Chevy or Ford or Jaguar, or pretty much everybody. They keep putting these things out where they're comparing themselves to Tesla. Now, here's my issue with this. The problem with a lot of these manufacturers is they're talking about Tesla as a competitor to Tesla, but yet they don't have a single vehicle made yet. Now, this is my issue with this. Majority of these concepts are coming out. They've sold maybe a couple of hundred, but everyone in the past 4 or 5 years that has done anything at all, the so-called Tesla killers and the so-called the challengers to Tesla, they've all done the same thing. Huge amounts of talk, big talk, lots of advertising. They were not what they were promised. The range wasn't there, the battery size wasn't there, the price wasn't there, the efficiency wasn't there. Ultimately, this has kind of been a trend. A lot of these big manufacturers, all these big manufacturers, that's what they have been so good at. A lot of talk, a lot of hype about a product that will be coming and will be better than a Tesla. You can't compare an idea to a real world scenario. It just doesn't work. A concept is nothing more than an idea. It is a imagination, a fantasy. Granted, with hopefully a little bit of science behind it, but it's nothing more than a fantasy. I think one of the big problems with, when I see something like the Mercedes information here is the news stations pick it up, and a lot of the reporting, be it a newspaper, be it a news, any type of news outlet, be it social media for that matter, when people pick up this information, holy smokes, there's a Mercedes is coming on the market with, their electric vehicle, this is going to be the big one, or BMW is coming up with a new one, or this one. Everybody, when Jaguar was talking about their car, the I-Pace coming out, they said like it's going to be the Tesla killer. It's going to be great. The Jaguar I-Pace, in my view, has been anything but a challenge for Tesla. And ultimately, we have a big problem here. These guys are 2 years out and they're comparing cars to something that exists today. This is the assumption that Tesla's going to stay put for the next 2 years. That doesn't quite sound right, does it? Now, Tesla is a very young company, as most of you may know. Well, I don't know if you know, but Tesla is a dramatically young company. Their growth is exponential. It's ridiculous, the improvements that they make almost month to month to month. Unlike all these legacy manufacturers, all the manufacturers that you are all familiar with, Tesla doesn't wait a year to come up with a new model, a new design, a new this, a new that. No, as soon as Tesla finds something that is more efficient or better, they simply are sticking it into the next production car going out. In fact, myself and my friend can both basically order the same car at the exact same time. Maybe my car goes through first and everything is all the same, but the next batch coming through might be the one that my friend ordered, and that might have a better a slightly better something. And you see, so Tesla consistently improves this. So basically every day that a new car comes out, it could be something different in each car, and it could be the improvements are consistent. They just keep moving forward with these improvements. And this is where it's amazing to me that a lot of these manufacturers are really comparing themselves to Tesla, because they are working on a design so hard to create something that is going to challenge the car of today that Tesla has. But they're not releasing their vehicle for 6 months, a year, 2 years, in some cases 5 years down the road. And yet they have the nerve to say something along the lines like the Tesla Challenger or the Tesla Killer, right? For Mercedes to, in this case, when you look at Mercedes to say like it's going to have more range than a Tesla. Currently, aside the Tesla Model S is the highest range EV out there. Frankly, I think Tesla is holding back. I honestly believe that Tesla can make easily vehicles that can go well beyond what they're capable of today. In fact, I believe Tesla can easily do 500 to 600 miles on a single charge. But I don't think Tesla's released any of that stuff yet, because they have no need to release this, right? I can almost imagine that somebody's going to come out saying that, we have a car at 480 miles, or something like that. And literally within a week, I can see Tesla announcing it. Yeah, we have one at 550. You see, when you look at Tesla as a company, they started with the mentality of EVs. Their entire infrastructure, their entire company, and their entire existence has been built around EVs. And from the bottom up, that's where everything started. When you have a company who specializes in transmissions, engines, thousands, tens upon thousands of moving parts in a vehicle, that's their focus. That's what they know how to do. Well, Tesla knows how to build EVs. Tesla knows how to build batteries. And that's the beauty of it. Tesla is not an automotive company. Tesla is a technology and energy, a car company. It's everything that requires a EV to run. And they're doing it all more or less in-house. Tesla is building out gigafactories, and all these factories are able they grow. With every factory they build, they learn, and they make things more efficient. With every new car that they build, they become more efficient. If you look at the early Model S's or even the early Model 3s and currently the early Model Ys, the earliest models are always the ones that are kind of everybody picks on. Well, it makes sense. It's the first production. It's that beginning stages of trying to figure out how to put that car together. It's basically a Lego set, and you can make mistakes, but within 2-3 months they already got all that stuff figured out, and there they go, bam, they just go into it and they keep going with creating amazing cars. Ultimately with Tesla, what's going to come down to is, when you're talking about these manufacturers, I hope that I'm going to stop seeing all of these comparisons between Tesla and a car that doesn't yet exist. Like I said, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for any manufacturer to come out and say, my car is going to be better than Tesla's. First produce it, put it on the market, start making sales, and give me real world scenarios. I think everything on paper will always look great, but a real world scenario is what's going to determine fact from fiction. When we look at all of this information out there about all these upcoming cars, it's all still fiction. There's no fact behind it. And real world testing is required. And by real world testing, I'm talking about the consumer, not the company. The company's tests are, to me, are just a preliminary test to make sure that the cars are safe. Nothing more. You want a true fact of cars, of what a car is capable of. Give it to the consumer and let the consumer drive it for about a year, and then you'll truly get numbers. You'll truly get realistic comparisons. Until then, you got nothing. I would love to see every one of these cars coming out in the future challenge Tesla. The more they challenge Tesla, the more Tesla will be better. And the more all the other manufacturers will be better. Challenges are great for everybody, and it's the best for us as the consumers, because when one company starts challenging the other, innovation happens, creativity flows, imagination becomes that much greater, and the fantasies become realities. And all of this is going to be to our benefit as consumers. I have absolutely no doubt that there will be cars, there will be manufacturers that are going to bring out some great cars. And yes, there is even a possibility that some of these manufacturers will eventually build a car that's better than Tesla's. Until the day that that's all proven, in fact, by the consumer, it's all just talk. And I think it's bad when it looks bad. It looks very bad for any company to start comparing their fantasies to someone else's realities. That's not the way the world works. There's a very big difference between fantasy and reality. And the only people that don't know that are children. And when a company puts out a statement, any type of statement where they're challenging their imaginary vehicle to Tesla's on-the-road vehicle, that's just being childish. So my message to all of the big manufacturers out there is stop being a child. Stop comparing yourself to Tesla, cars that actually exist. Put your brains to work and start creating these cars. And yes, I challenge you, please make better cars than Tesla. Please bring me an EV that I would be happy with as a consumer. If you, as any manufacturer, could build a car to get me off of a Tesla, then you've succeeded. Because frankly, you don't have just a car to build. You have an entire infrastructure to build that you are still lacking. The fact of the matter is, even if you make a better car than Tesla today, with higher range, more efficient, and better in every way, the average consumer cannot take the same use of that car as they can with the Tesla. You not only have to build the vehicle, you have to build the infrastructure, which is the backbone of that vehicle. You have to build the infrastructure to go along with that vehicle. And until you don't do that, it doesn't matter how great or how much better your car is on track. Because going around the track, you can easily beat a Tesla. I'm sure you can. Some of you guys can. Look, Porsche technically did it, but can Porsche owners take the cars and use them the same way I can? Can I have a friend of mine buy that Porsche and run from Vancouver to California basically side by side? The answer is no. He doesn't have the infrastructure to do so. That's my point. Anyway, this video is too long, so I'll see you guys on the next one. If you guys like the way I think, or you guys liked anything I said in this video, you want to see more of it, please consider subscribing, because frankly, I like to put out these videos every once in a while, and I just something to get everybody to think. Please remember, I own a Tesla. I've owned a Tesla for over 2 years. I've made a point of not upgrading my Tesla or changing the car out. I kind of want to stay with the same car for as long as possible to give you guys a real world view of this car. I use my car every day. I use my car for work, for fun, for play, and for YouTube. So it is the key vehicle that I use, and the only vehicle I use. I personally own one gas-powered vehicle, and that is a motorcycle, which I'm hoping to change eventually. All right, with that said, thank you very much for watching. I hope you all drive safe, stay safe. Goodbye.